Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum friends. I hope all of you learning linguistics with Tia. Today we are going to talk about morphology in linguistics. This lecture is all about morphology. Before moving to the contents, let's have a look on objectives. First one is explain what morphology is and its importance in the study of language, as well as defining morphology, morpheme, and explaining its role in word formation. And third one is describing the two types of morpheme that are root and affix. Give examples of each. And last one is developing my learners' critical thinking skills by encouraging them to reflect on the way in which morphemes can change the meaning of words. So have a look on contents. First one is what is morphology in linguistics. And the second point is importance of morphology in the study of language. Second last is morpheme, and the last one is the types of morphemes. So friends, you can get complete lecture in the form of blog by clicking on the link given in the description section. It is www.linguisticswithtia.com. Let's dive into the lecture and learn what is morphology and move to the first slide. So friends, first we will try to learn what is morphology in linguistics. Morphology is all about shape of words, or you can say it is the study of the internal structure of words and the rules for forming words from smaller units called morphemes. We will discuss morpheme in our next slide. It also talks about how these words are formed and altered to convey meaning. Concerned with the rules for forming words from morpheme. It's the branch of linguistics that examines the way words are constructed from prefixes, affixes, and roots to create meaning. In this way, morphology helps to understand the relationship between words and how they can be used in a language system. So morphology is all about the shape of words, any language. So let's have a look on the importance of morphology in the study of language in our next slide. So friends, morphology is the branch of linguistics that studies the internal structure of words and their formation. So it's important for the study of language. Let's have a look on the importance of morphology. First one is it helps to understand word formation. How words are formed, they can be changed to express different meanings. Like you can say walk is the present form of the word or the root form, and walks is the present and walked is past participle. So language analysis is the next goal of morphology. It allows to analyze the structure of words and to identify the individual morphemes that make up words. Next one is language comparison. It can be used to compare different languages and identify similarities and differences in the way words are formed. Like you can see in the picture, we have two languages and both form of words in these languages are different. That is actually morphology because it deals with the words and all about the shape of the words. Next one is language evaluation. Studying the word change over time, morphology helps us to understand the evaluation of language and the forces that shape. And the last one is language acquisition. It is relevant to the study of language acquisition as well because children must learn the rules for forming words in order to become proficient speaker of a language. So morphology is all about the word formation of any language. It is important for learning and understanding language and to become proficient speaker as well as writer for learning any language. Let's try to learn what is morpheme in linguistics or morphology. Morpheme is the smallest unit of meaning in a word or language. It can stand alone or can be combined with other morphemes words. So we have two types of morpheme. Root morpheme, also known as base morpheme, and affixes. That is the combination of affixes and fixes. Don't worry about these terms. We will discuss in detail in our next few slides. Root morpheme is the root form and happy is root form of morpheme, but if you attach then it becomes unhappy. So that is the formation of word of adding affix, or you can say prefix for that we can have the word happy into unhappy. Similarly, use suffixes. That is the word used or the morpheme. Instead of saying word, it is good to say morpheme. Morpheme is the smallest meaningful. So by adding ness, that is fix with the happy, we can have the word happiness. If you use affixes with the root form of the word that is happy, you can have, or we also have a word happiness. Morpheme is smallest unit of meaning in a word or language. It can stand alone, like we have the word happy. So friends, we have two types of morpheme. First one is free morpheme and the second one is bond morpheme. Free morpheme is a minimum or minimal shape that can be used in discourse with no other forms attached to it. These are morpheme that can function as a standalone words such as dog, run or fast. For example, dog is a free morpheme and it can stand alone as a word with single meaning. So if we say the dog ran fast, here we have three free morpheme and we will discuss these examples in our next slide. Now have a look on bond morpheme. That is another type of morpheme. Bond morphemes are always attached to some other morpheme in order to be used naturally in discourse. There are morphemes that cannot stand alone, like morpheme, and must be attached to another morpheme to form a word, such as we have the previous example. We attach it with the happy to make it complete word. So un is a bond morpheme. Similarly, we have another word dislike. So like is a free morpheme and this is the bond morpheme. So in simple words, free morpheme are not required to attach to another morpheme for creating any words. In contrast, bond morpheme are used to modify the meanings word, like in the form of inflection, as you can say walked and walked. When we have ed, this is basic form of the bond morpheme because ed has grammatically meaning, but it cannot give semantic meaning without attaching to any free morpheme. Free and bond morpheme are the two types of morpheme. Morphology, study of linguistics, the word formation, they are important. Let's try to learn free and bond morpheme by having a look on few examples. First, we have morphemes I have mentioned in our previous slide. The dog ran fast. Here, dog, ran and fast. All are the three forms of free morpheme. Similarly, we have the road was long here and road. These are also the examples of free morpheme. They are not required to have any prefix or suffix for giving meanings, so they can stand alone and are falling in the category of free morpheme. And next one is he became a teacher. Here, teacher is a free morpheme. So these are all the examples of free morpheme because they can stand alone and they are not required to attach any form of morpheme for providing meanings. Trust in bond morpheme, if on the example she was unhappy, if we attach or separate the word from happy to un, we will have different words and different meanings. But here if we attach un, that is a bond morpheme, we have complete sense of words, that is she was unhappy. Here unhappy is formed by attaching the bond morpheme un to the free morpheme happy. Again, the atmosphere was cheerful. Here cheerful is formed by attaching the bond morpheme, that is full, to the free morpheme is cheerful. So free morpheme stand alone and they are not required any morpheme for providing meaning. In contrast, free morpheme have ability to stand alone, but morpheme cannot stand alone. They only provide when attaching with the free morpheme, as you can see in these examples. Let's summarize important points of this lecture. Morphology is a branch of linguistics that study the formation and internal structure of words, or it is all about the shape of words. And the smallest meaningful unit of morphology is morpheme, and morpheme have two important types, free morpheme and bond morpheme. Free morpheme can stand alone as a word, and bond morpheme must be attached to another morpheme for providing complete sense in the form of words. For example, we have unhappy. Here un is bond morpheme and happy is free morpheme. So by adding prefix, that is un, we have word unhappy, like they were unhappy and she was or she is unhappy. Then we have the word dogs. Here dog is a free morpheme and s a bond morpheme.